right, it says we're live. Waiting for confirmation of such.
Are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? No.
Waiting for confirmation.
Kissing, that's what I've been missing.
All right. Looks like we got something going. All right, guys, how's it going? Woo! How do we sound? Do we sound okay?
Is there no sound like yesterday?
Is there? Oh, wait, hang on. I'm going to have to turn this off for no echo. Okay, so there might be a brief echo, but the echo should already be fixed. Let us know in the comments down below if you're hearing us okay.
I'm laughing about the fact that Dr. Shrimp Puerto Rico is saying help. I hope everything is okay.
Pop out chat. Bring this out.
Oh, nice feature you got there, man.
All right, Max.
All
right,
8K.
So yeah,
we just did our little monsters review today, good sir. What is up?
Indeed, we did. There we go.
By the way, I love Little Monsters.
Okay.
I thought it was great. Super fun.
So we have Savannah Heffron in the house. We have Sarah Counts. We have Dr. Shrimp Puerto Rico. We have Mikey Mnemonic. We have Robert Duell, who was just here not too long ago. Made his way home already. Raiders AK, as you said. Josh Murray and Massive Entertainment. What up, what up, what up, guys?
Massive Entertainment. Man.
Sound like Cecil Fuego. I don't hear an echo. Okay, cool. No
Massively
echo.
entertaining. Long days and pleasant nights, Sarah. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated.
Indeed. Fuego, do we need more room for you to get
That's why I was like, I kept inching over.
That's cool. No, I mean, get close, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
All right, so audio is
We've
perfect.
been doing
Sweet.
this together long enough.
Indeed we have. So, guys, we are here to talk about the news stories, the top horror news stories of November. Oh, shoot, Massive Entertainment's in Mesa. Congrats. Good to know.
Yeah,
What's up, Gamer at Night? All right, so just real quick, this episode of the horror show. Oh, wait, by the way.
That's why I had it in hand.
Hey, everyone, I'm Cecil Laird.
And I'm Jaime and Fuego.
And this is your horror show news
with booze. You with your
what?
Death of Superman glass. I love it.
Indeed. I have an appropriately colored Death of Superman glass here.
Yeah. It's not a news story, but Henry Cavill says he is still Superman.
Oh, this is Grant with Massive Entertainment. I love your guys' videos. Thank you, Grant. Movie Geek is here. I always say Movie Over Geek. Movie Geek is here. So, guys, this episode of the Horror Show News with Booze is brought to you by Manscaped.
Indeed it is.
That's right. We have our first official sponsor for a whole week's worth of episodes. So this following week's worth of episodes, you're going to hear some Manscaped talk, but we're officially sponsored by them, so we're going to get into it a little bit. Now, Fuego, let's talk, man. How often do you shave your balls?
I'd say it's probably been about 20 years, man.
20 years?
Yeah, when I first got them.
I feel bad for your lady love, because what the hell? Is it just a jungle down there?
I've never had any complaints, but it's really kind of a candid situation.
I'm looking at your face,
man.
And I have to say, there's got to be some hidden complaints, but...
Well, they say that they don't like, being with boys, so, it's all right.
Don't like being with boys? Okay, well, there's, that's an old trope. Anyway, so Manscaped.com is the only men's brand dedicated to below-the-belt grooming and hygiene.
There's some things I could definitely do. I will attest to that, as personal as it may be.
Well, that's what we're here to talk about. I could too. I started doing it a while ago. I just now have the perfect tool for the job, so to speak.
Maybe you'll have to show me some pointers, bro.
Oh, baby, I can do that. Manscaped created the world's first manscaping kit that makes manscaping safe and easy, okay? Yeah. So I am going to go through and show you what they sent here. They sent what one might consider precision tools for your family jewels.
Oh, okay. Is that on the script, or did you?
No, I am just that clever.
No, I was about to say the clever
comes in this little handy dandy white sack that you can keep your tool in.
Well, they're not all white sacks, guys.
But let's be real. Yeah, we're a diverse society.
Every color, black and white.
This is what's called, you get this in the perfect package. I want to make sure I'm reading this correctly. I don't want to. So this is the Perfect Package 2.0, yes. Perfect Package 2.0. And this right here is the Lawnmower 2.0. This is what's featured. This is a 6,000 RPM motor, waterproof trimmer.
Okay, I'm confident in its hours?
Oh, yeah. So you can actually charge it via USB. It's cordless. It's got a 60-minute battery life. You can take it in there and do what needs to be done.
For those who like to spend lots of extensive time.
Get in, get out, and get on with your life is what you can do.
Right, interesting.
But it's got the skin safe technology as well. So it's got the basically they say nick your sack, send it back.
Nasty.
It's got that guarantee going on for it. Now,
well, that's reassuring, I suppose.
Well, it absolutely should be. Now, it is TSA approved, so it's travel friendly. You can take it with you on your business trips, which I know you take a lot of.
Well, I mean, not as much as you, but I mean, this is the founder of the feast, so to speak, and it is Thanksgiving week, so that makes sense. But
now, when you order the Perfect Package 2.0 kit, you're going to get other goodies along with the Lawnmower 2.0. First off, you're going to get what's called the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. That's right. This is deodorant for your undercarriage. And why? Well, if you're going to put deodorant on your underarms, why not put it on the smelliest place in your body as well?
And this is where I contend it's wishful thinking from a man's standpoint, but nonetheless, you know, it does make sense. So everyone in the comments is just
trying to say the Freddy glove better than using a Freddy glove. Yeah, well, I meant to actually have that on, but
he was planning to use that to trim the butt hairs and stuff. So.
Exactly. So we'll just do this, where we'll say that the next thing that you get, in addition to the ball deodorant, you get this lovely spray that is the Crop Reviver Ball Toner.
Oh my God.
You can tone your nuts. Ha 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 ha!
Bitch.
That's what you can do with it. So yeah, this is it's a body toner. You can use it all over, but specifically it is a ball toner, as you can see right there. So both of these come with the package.
And what is a testicle toner? One might be asking.
Well, it's funny that you ask that, Fuego.
I was inquiring for
it's built with natural ingredients like aloe vera, so it helps soothe and refresh your sensitive skin after you do all that manscaping.
It's going to numb me up.
Indeed. So it's actually perfect for your night drawer. It's perfect for your center console, or it's perfect for your gym bag, right? So you go, you get a little workout in, then you refresh your nuts on the way out to the car. Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, the nice thing is that they're actually complementing everything right now with their what they call high-performance athletic shorts, a.k.a. boxers. These will keep you fresh all day after doing the manscaping. So what's nice is when you become a subscriber to the Perfect Package 2.0 kit, you get 25% savings on your order. You get a new blade every 3 months sent for your Lawnmower 2.0, so you don't ever have to get it dull and risk the nicks.
I'm laughing at Zachary saying, is this channel for kids?
Nope, this channel is definitely not for kids.
Yep.
And then the next thing that you get, if you order, you'll actually get access to the Plow 2.0. Which, if you're interested, Fuego, pop that bad boy open, show them what's on the inside without spilling it all over the floor.
Yeah, I was about to say, after what transpired previously.
Use that to pop it open.
I see the little,
there you go, you got it.
Handle and
That's how you do it. So show them. You can just pull out this newly redesigned and ergonomic single blade safety razor, so you can edge up yourself.
Yeah, if you're planning on committing suicide, this is a
fantastic... Hey now, Jesus. Good Lord, what's wrong with you?
I'm trying to be funny. It didn't work.
Great, that's why we don't do live reads on this channel. It's Fuego, Jesus. Sorry. Now, you can use my code HORROR20 at purchase. You'll get free shipping, and you'll get access to all of these things. No, the Horror Show does not condone.
We do not condone said
pulling a Stanley from it by any stretch.
Yeah, which is what I was thinking of as I mentioned this.
Now,
sorry,
for
everybody.
a limited time, guys, you do get a free gift, which is this lovely Manscaped bag where you can keep everything. So go ahead and put that back inside.
I was about to say, that's what
I'm going to drop this back in, and I'm going to drop the ball deodorant back in as well.
Well, she didn't
now,
say that,
if you were curious, you do actually get a couple of guards as well that are two-sided, so you get 4 sizes. So you can make sure you trim your nuts down to whatever level you want.
Do it up proper, sure.
Exactly. But for a limited time, you get all of that stuff now. Get 20% off and free shipping from your Perfect Package 2.0 purchase when you use promo code HORROR20 at Manscaped.com. So thank you very much to Manscaped for sponsoring this episode.
Yeah.
That's enough of that.
We appreciate that.
That gave everyone time to jump in. So let's say hello to everyone. Yes, nuts and berries for Christmas, Mikey Mnemonic. Savannah Heffron is saying hi to everyone. We've got Anthony Kulik here, and lots
I'm
of
buying one for my wife.
Lots
she
of
has
other people.
My balls.
Monte Marino, yeah, I'm buying one for my wife. She has my balls. Nice. Tony Robinson is also here, so
that's a smart man, I suppose. But,
we're gonna get this going now. So, Fuego, why don't you start off and tell us all about story number one?
Yeah, story number one, peeps, is the fact that Shudder, with the massive success and viewership of the basically spin-off that we got of the Creepshow series, and so there was 2 films. Well, actually, there's 3 films, technically, if we're really going to be fair about it. But there was only 2 that Cy King was actually associated with, and a third one did kind of its own thing. But Shudder decided to relaunch it with the, blessing, I suppose, of Stephen King and George Romero no longer being around, regrettably. But yeah, it was an anthology with 6 different episodes. Each of them had 2 different stories, and the success of viewership has allowed Shudder to renew it for a second season. Ironically, as much as I loved Grey Matter, I was very disappointed with the adaptation of the Something by the Silver Lake. Man, I feel terrible because I love Joe Hill, and that's one of my favorite short stories of his, but it was in the 6th episode, and it was massively disappointing.
By the shores of Lake Champlain, I thought.
There you go, yeah. But, yeah, nonetheless, I mean, it was viewed by a ton of people, and, yes, we officially have a second season confirmed. Who knows how many more Joe Hill, Cy King stories, and, other artists like, Joe Lansdale and stuff that we got adaptations of. Some of my personal favorite episodes that were not of the King clan were definitely the Skin Crawlers, Skin Walkers, whatever the hell it was. Like, I loved the tapeworm dieting episode. Yeah. I thought that one was awesome, and it was funny, but it was gory, and it was everything that
We'll see our review. I mean, we don't need to talk about all the stories.
Yeah, exactly. But
we did a review of a whole season, so
we did,
check
and
that out.
And we had a mysterious Susie appearance too for that particular thing. Yeah, she's like animal in the wild. Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to call her Bigfoot.
That you rarely see, but she gave some great insight. She watched the entire series herself. Shout out to Suze, we love you. She unfortunately was not able to get a babysitter this weekend, but yes, so look forward to a second season. I speculate if there will be more episodes or like what the deal will be, what stories will be adapted, but we do know for a fact that Tom Savini is back for Practical, and Greg Nicotero will direct a few episodes and be doing the showrunner sort of thing.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so he is confirmed for that, which is fun.
All right. Well, the next story, Fuego, while I make this happen, because apparently I didn't arrange this quite as perfectly as I was hoping I would have. So there we go. The next one is all about The Walking Dead.
Yeah, a show that both you and I are unfortunately pretty behind on. I think we're about a half season behind, you and I both.
Yes, I mean, I'm about halfway through.
The Whisperer showed up.
I'm caught up to when Rick left. So I'm a couple episodes before the Whisperers show up. Although I did hear them walk by and whisper and stuff.
Yeah. But, as far as milking the brand goes, and, bless Robert Kirkman's heart, we have a third Walking Dead show. And
it's getting to be a bit much.
I'm intrigued by the concept, but the trailer looked like crap.
Really?
Yeah, well...
I didn't watch it, no.
Well, we reviewed it. We did a reaction to it.
No, this is the third series. Oh, yeah, the third.
This is the one with
This is the one
with the kids
okay,
who
good.
are...
Then I'm glad I didn't bother.
Yeah, so
this is what I would have called Walking Dead Extra, for many reasons.
Walking Dead CW.
Well, no, Extra just because it so ties into how the millennials talk now, too.
Okay.
So we'll call it Walking Dead Extra, because it's an extra series, and it's filled with extra little kids.
Yeah, so essentially we reacted to the first trailer that they showed at Comic-Con when it was still an untitled series. Mm-hmm. And now it has a title, this whole world beyond aspect, but it's, I mean, it fascinates me, the approach, and the fact that, okay, what would kids who have been born since this all happened, what would their lives be like? What would their outlooks entail? All this different stuff. That's the described approach, but it just, man, it seemed so childishly silly and not intriguing and whatnot. And I mean, the synopsis, at least after they fashioned an official one, before dropping this trailer, they're like, some kids will turn bad, some will, blah blah blah. They tried to just make it seem like there's
that's just humans. That's just humans. Yeah. That's what humans do.
And it's a show
some turn bad, some don't.
And it's a show that has really just focused its attention on humans more so than the zombies themselves. It's more so like, how do you just live and react and interact in this particular, I don't know, like condition and just dome of sorts, if I'm going to make a King, reference and whatnot.
Of course you are.
Yeah, of course, I have to. But I don't know, man, I'm not super stoked about this show, but we do have a confirmation of a new name, of the fact that, we are not just doubling down, because we already have Fear the Walking Dead, but we are tripling down in the fact that AMC is banking on 3 Walking Dead shows and, like, movies, with Rick coming back and all this different stuff. Are they overdoing it in your estimation? Especially based on somebody who read all the comics. Like you have every issue.
I've read all the every issue, and they actually just released a non-Kirkman written issue written by Brian K. Vaughan that was like a little one-shot, returned as sort of. It actually told the story of Rick's brother that we never knew about, that died off on his own little adventure.
I had no idea Rick had a brother.
Well, that's the point. I don't think anyone did, but.
No.
It was an interesting little issue, so I liked that, but yeah, I mean, even the comics started to slide. Like, I'm really glad that he ended it, because I think it was time, but man, I watched the first 2 seasons of Fear the Walking Dead, and I just could not justify going back.
A lot of people have said that it's got better, but that's with the incorporation of characters like Morgan and,
and maybe I'll get to it eventually, but that's asking a lot to have to do that. When I invested all of my time initially for 2 seasons, now finally I have to go back after 24 episodes to finally see something good. Like,
well, and
again, the like you said, the reaction that we did to this new one just really put the nail in the coffin. Like, I don't care at all about this one.
It looked so bad, man. It really, really did. They can retitle it. They can, try to, put some spin on it, but. Yeah, I am not excited about this. It really feels like beating a red-headed dead horse, as I all too often like to say. So
I agree with you all too often saying that. So the next story, Fuego, is going to be...
And this ties in with people thinking they're milking a property. What is the point? So on and so forth. We just had a reimagining, like prequelishness, the one that had Stephen Dorff, just a couple of years ago. And with the advent, presumably, of the Halloween film, especially, significantly doing so well in this re-envisioning aspect. Now everybody is clamoring for more Texas Chainsaw, but this is a weird franchise in the fact that it's had so many like starts and stops. It's not like Friday the 13th where it's been in limbo forever. They have continued making these movies to lesser returns in a lot of people's estimations. And Fede Alvarez producing...
There's only so much a producer can do.
Yeah, if he was directing this movie, man, I would have, like, significant...
Don't Breathe, right? Don't Breathe and...
Don't Breathe, the Evil Dead remake. I mean, if he was directing this movie, I would have a significant more amount of faith. And as it stands, I can't say I'm really clamoring for this. Is it a remake? Is it a sequel within the universe? Is it going to retcon whatever? I don't know. At this point, and they have given no specifics, so we don't necessarily know, but do we need more films, at least at this particular point in time, with Leatherface running around and, like mowing people down? I don't know.
There's always room to bring back slashers, but it has to be done right. And yes, I agree with you. If Fede was going to be directing, that's a big difference than just producing.
Big time.
The writer, I mean, what had he written before? You read the story more closely than I did, I feel like.
He did not have any significant like prior things. And so
that's not good. How does the Texas Chainsaw keep wallowing in mediocrity?
Well, I mean, he had some television stuff, but I mean, long story short, he was picked because of that Fede has certain I don't know, peeps that he wants to groom, so to speak, I suppose. And in this regard, I'm kind of flabbergasted in the fact that we are getting another one of these when we still don't have another Jason or a Freddy film, and so that's where I'm kind of confused. So
all right, so let's see here. Let me make sure I've got us pulled over, and the
next one is a biggie though. The next one has all the controversies.
Oh yeah. Well, now Fuego, I wanted to let you know I'm actually planning to do a longer stream about this particular subject, PG-13 horror, and I'm going to be doing it with CP and Cody. Oh. So we're going to be doing it together. So if you can come over when we do it, then we'll have you in on the thing. Yeah, of course. I don't know why it's not switching. God, this program is such a pain in my ass. Oh my God, it's like locked me out now. It's not going to let me change the stories.
I actually have to call out Bert because I just saw him mention the fact that 2004 remake, he really likes it.
There we go.
I really like the remake too, man. I mean, the scene where dude is put on the hook and the rock salt and the chopped off leg and stuff. I mean, the OG is like a snuff film in a lot of ways. It feels, with the news reports and all that different stuff, it feels like it's something that could have really transpired. And then, you know, Tobe Hooper's sequel, it's silly, but I like the chili and the teeth in there and everything, and the end sequence with the girl and like the amusement park, whateverness is fun. But I do really appreciate. Thank you, Newtubers.
I appreciate.
You all appreciate it, to quote Pac. But no, I really like the stuff with Mr. Justin Timberlake's lady. What's her name?
I'm supposed to know Justin Timberlake's lady?
Yeah, she was
Who
on.
the hell are you talking to?
She was on Seventh Heaven. She was on.
Oh, that helps.
Okay.
Yeah, another horror-centric show.
I don't know. She's been on tons of things, but
dude, I have no idea who you're talking about.
I can't remember. Thank you, News of Booze.
All right, well, keep blaming the poos. Jessica Biel. Oh,
Jessica Biel. Thank you, off-camera, awesome lady.
There you go. So, all right.
So that's where we're at.
Yeah, as far as the Texas Chainsaw reboot, I wish he was directing it. I don't know enough about the writer to give it the yay or the nay. They need to really go above and beyond to make it work, though, because it's been floundering for quite a while. Now, the next story is the Black Christmas remake being PG-13. This is what I was saying. We're going to do a separate stream about PG-13 horror, because I think it definitely has its place, but I think that this is not one of those examples because...
Well, it's an R-rated property, you know, and the fact that the two previous films, you know, the original 70s one and the remake Black Xmas were very R-rated, and they did their duty. PG-13 horror, in fact, PG horror, look at like Poltergeist and stuff. I mean, there is a place for it. You can be effective. You don't need boobs and insane blood to really scare the crap out of people. But
but it needs to be that way from conception. You can't, in my opinion, you can't conceive of it in an R rating and then change it after the fact, because you thought of the kills with an R rating, and if you're going to be limited to PG-13, some of those kills aren't going to play as well.
Yeah, and that specifically, I mean, you were having some dissertation with the writer, if I remember correctly, from this film?
a co-writer, one of the co-writers. Yeah, we went back and forth a little bit, because they were like, well, you know, sometimes you write things and things change and you have to adapt and stuff, and I'm like, that's fine if you're planning the kills to be adaptable, but if you're planning the kills to be R and then you have to make them PG-13, you're going to be losing something in translation. And so we went back and forth for a few tweets about it, so it was pretty funny. But it was still an interesting enough topic that's why I want to do the full stream about it. But I do think that PG-13 horror has its place, but I don't think that all horror needs to be that way. I think My Soul to Keep, which we reviewed, which was fantastic, that came out this year. I think that's a prime example of what good PG-13 horror could be. That might actually even be PG worthy.
Yeah, I would say Escape Room is another one that could probably
that's PG-13 for sure.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of, you know, either or in that regard. But Insidious, PG-13. I mean, you know, you can do a lot. You can push the boundary as long as there isn't F-bombs and boobs. You can really do a lot as far as the MPAA goes. So, you know.
Yeah, and we did see the trailer for the new Black Christmas, of course. I mean, how could we not? We did a trailer reaction to it, exactly. So it does look bad. I mean, it looks very bad, and it looks like it got hung up on the woke train that everyone's on.
And it looks bad beyond the rating, man.
It does.
You know, when we watched it, we thought it was going to be an R-rated film, and it still looked bad. So, what are you going to say?
Not so good. Not so good. Now, let's get on to the next story, Fuego. I don't want to spend too much time on this because we are going to do that separate stream about it. So, the next story is all about this. Go ahead, Fuego. Take it.
Yeah, so Hulu is developing an anthology film That is going to be all about the books of blood. That's right, Clive Barker. He did 6 of them in total. They have been separately released like as singular volumes, and then he's collected them in a 3 and a 3. I've actually only perused the first 3 as opposed to the second 3, but it incorporated stories that have been previously adapted, like the Midnight Meat Train and the title story and stuff like that. So this is where they have admonished that they're going to cherry pick and they're going to do like a story from this, a story from that, whatever. No specifications about all of that. Clive Barker is one that, with the strange sexuality of a lot of his writing, he's kind of turned people off a little bit, myself included. He is very erotic in his horror, almost to an uncomfortable level in certain degrees, which, hey, that's his thing, and I appreciate the hell out of it. But Hulu is an odd destination, and it makes me wonder, especially since Disney owns Hulu, just how much they're going to allow them to run with an R-rated sort of approach and, nastiness in that regard. But, I mean, the Books of Blood, I still haven't read anything proper Barker, as far as Damnation Game and Cabal and different things like that have had previous adaptations. But I'm stoked to see him getting just some attention and this sort of thing. I don't know. I know you and I both like Midnight Meat Train, at least. We
did like Midnight Meat Train.
I did Books of Blood 1.
I did see the Barker Book of Blood movie that came straight to DVD.
That's where the ghosts carve all the stuff.
I liked that movie.
That
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure that's just a piece of the story overall, but
it was the first story. It was almost like an introduction in the Books of Blood.
Yeah, I'm on board for it. So Mikey says Book of Blood is already a movie, so it's a remake. No, it's just another new adaptation. It's not a remake. It's a new adaptation.
Yeah, and it's Books of Blood, Mikey. And
Books of Blood.
Yeah, so they're going to cherry pick different stories as opposed to adapting that one specifically.
Right.
Because I know it was the one where
Jesse T is here.
Yeah, because I know it was the one where the kid was lying about like the spiritual connection and everything, and then they combined some aspects from another story in the first volume. But I know. Hey, Mikey's definitely an expert in that regard as far as Barker goes, compared to me. So
I haven't read any of these. I've read Precious Little Clive Barker. I do intend to at some point, but I'm interested to see anything because Hellraiser obviously is a classic, and Lord of Illusions really creeped me out too as a kid, so I liked a lot of the imagery there. So he does have something to him that is engaging to me, but it's, I don't know. He's a little bit off the wall at times too, so it kind of depends on which version of Barker you're getting.
Yeah, and I've been talking about doing Barker at the Moon, as a spin-off from Hail to Stephen King for a while, but I must admit I started reading the Damnation Game and I just wasn't that compelled. So I don't know, in due time, but this is cool, and Hulu could definitely do with another horror spin-off series and stuff like that. Although the Into the Dark stuff that Blumhouse has done, you've watched a few of those, I think.
Yeah, a few of them, but I fell off the train pretty quickly because it was so many, one a month, and I just don't have time to catch up on that. So
and they're feature length, right? As opposed to so they're not 45 minutes or whatever.
So Daniel Corey just says, Fuego, you should check out The Thief of Anything by Barker. Great coming of age dark fantasy and can be read in a couple days. Nice. So maybe that'll be your entryway.
Well, I've been buying the Barker books in hardcover. I always, anytime I'm in a used bookstore, if I see something I picked up Great and Secret Show. I picked up, lots of different stuff, Magica, things like that. So I've been slowly, just, acquiring everything, but I just haven't read any of it really properly yet. So,
all right, so let's move on to the next one, which I'm actually quite excited about because I loved this original comic book series.
I never read any of it.
I have it all. I have all the trades.
I watched some of the series they did on MTV.
On MTV,
right?
It was awesome. Part of the Eon Flux hour, it was Eon Flux in the Max.
Yeah.
And it was really, really, really cool. And the comic is amazing. And in fact, there's currently a series that has 3 of the 5 issues out. They're supposed to be finally putting out the last 2 in the next 2 months. But they did a Batman the Max crossover that Sam Keith drew.
Really?
Yeah, Sam Keith is making it. So
Dang.
it's like
talk about full circle, kind of cause a
dude. It's over a year late. The 4th and 5th issues at this point.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's still fun, and I love the Max. It's about this guy that dresses in purple that lives as a hobo in I think New York or maybe Chicago. I'm not sure. One of those big cities.
Start wearing purple.
And he sometimes drifts off to this other world. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Maybe the Wildlands or something like that, where there's a wizard that's after him, and the wizard has followed him into the real world, and he just he finds this social worker named Julie that he sort of befriends himself to, who was also his queen in the Wildlands.
It was an Image comic, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes, I believe so. But there were 5 trades made of it, and then he's crossed over with a couple of things. I think there was a Pit and Max crossover that I have as well.
And that's where I got confused, man. When I was a kid in the 90s, it was like Image had the Pit, the Max, the 10th. It was like all these like monstrous looking creatures all at the same time, and they just all kind of mushed together for me, and I never got a distinguishing aspect.
It's a really fun and creative series. It really struck home with me, and it's where I fell in love with Sam Keith's style, because it hasn't changed in all these years.
That's cool.
It's oddly unique, but I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm really excited, and I like Channing Tatum. So hopefully,
it's the most interesting aspect. I would assume.
Hopefully, he's going to be in it as well as the Max. Like, that would be really cool. But they need to do something interesting, because he really needs to look like this big boxy guy. Like, that would be really, really cool.
I mean, are we talking where it has to be like Fantastic Four with chickless kind of thing? Or...
No, not Fantastic Four with chickless. Let me show you. I Google searched something and an image came up. And hopefully the same picture will pop up here.
I always loved just the artwork of this guy, and just his monstrousness was really... it's a book that I always wanted to check out and give like a proper read to, but some of the Image stuff, just like some of the Valiant stuff, felt very generic to me when I was a kid in the 90s. I was like, oh, it's the rip-off lower brands that are trying to, I'm like, oh, it's like the Hulk, but he's purple, and I know there's been Purple Hulk since then, but,
I think I just searched Channing Tatum before, so let me see if it pulls up that way.
Just like my personal impressions and stuff, but this is a, series especially, a lot of my friends watched it on MTV, and they loved the hell out of it, and they still proclaim the awesomeness. That is dope.
That could be really cool if they pulled that off. Let me see if I can save it and show everyone real quick.
That is almost like the protruding head. It's almost like Alien-esque.
Yeah, let me show you. It's still kind of animated, like it would be a CG creation, but he'd be really, really cool. Look at that.
But if it would work, I mean, check out that look, man.
That would be so... Like, again, he'd have to be huge.
Yeah, it was the weird lower teeth that always threw me off. Like,
I like that. I think it's so odd, and I think it makes such a difference. It's such a striking image and a striking silhouette. I think it's really, really dope. So if they can pull off that look... I'm
not disagreeing.
I'm just worried if they're going to make him look like a human version of this. Like, just put him in a purple costume with yellow gauntlets and these things out here like a Wolverine. He needs to look like this. He needs to be the really small, bulky... like a tiny Wolverine Hulk crossbreed. Like, that's kind of what he is.
Yeah, I had no idea that he was that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Thinking of the Ang Lee Hulk and like the fear and the fear of them doing it like that. The Eric Bana, where it was like once he switched into Hulk, and it was like, I guess they've done that with every Hulk movie.
Ben Grimm is not wrong.
Super CG craziness.
Ben Grimm says Bautista would be a good match.
Damn right.
100%.
Holy smokes!
That'd be
if you
great.
look at like physical, like just
you're
dominance.
Right. You're right. 100%. Actually, holy crap.
Get on the casting agent. 100%.
So, but who would be a good? God, I forgot what the bad guy's name is. It's like Mr. Nobody or something like that.
Since I've never read it, I don't know.
So anyway, yeah, he's Wolverine Thanos. Zachary, that's fair. All right. So yeah, let's move on to the next story, Fuego.
And this was a story big enough that Cecil and I almost did a news with booze halfway through the month.
Right.
Because this is ginormous status.
Pretty much.
The Scream franchise has obviously tried and failed with these television series. They even went urban, ethnic. I can't talk about that sort of thing. But it was still reviled, and people didn't like it when they went with the primarily like African-American cast. It's like people don't care whether white, black, Asian, whatever. And it's
Mr. Gone. Thank you, Makes It Fit. Sorry, that's the name of the guy. It was Mr. Gone. It was the bad guy.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, thank you, Makes It Fit. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you can retrofit Ghostface in whatever way you would prefer, but honestly, the fact that Spyglass Entertainment announced earlier this month that they are working on a 5th Scream movie minus Kevin Williamson, at least for now, minus Wes Craven. I mean, he doesn't have the possibility to return, obviously,
but possibly with some of the original cast.
And that is that's where they intrigue me. But man, the Aaron Kruger, the guy who did the third movie, I really, really hate that third movie. And yet, the fourth one where we brought both of our returning creative minds back in Williamson and Craven. I still think in the proper hands, it's a property that could succeed with decent people. I mean, I'm not going to get all sentimental and be like, no, I don't want to see Dewey finally die, after all of the half dies of his, instances with the series.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and I mean, everything with Sydney, obviously. So if this is indeed going to bring back those three, there's a trio of like OG survivors that have made it through every single film. Mm-hmm. Courtney Cox, David Arquette, and what is Sydney's name? I'm trying to remember.
Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell. Yeah. Yeah. So the three of them, if they are in fact returning, even if it's Spyglass Entertainment, which makes me like bat kind of conspicuous and skeptical eye, I'm down for it. I'm okay, and I would. Honestly, I would like to see a conclusion, so to speak. The thing that really sucks is that Craven and Williamson, before Craven passed away, they had an idea for a fifth film, and we never got to see it because Wes passed away. I don't know. Are you down for a return to this?
I'm open to it. Look, I don't want Scream to shut down forever.
No.
So I'm open to someone giving it a try. If it's good, great. If it's bad, I don't ever have to watch it again. It's the same thing I say about other remakes. It sounds like they're not making it.
Series, right?
I did. I watched the first two seasons. The second season was much better than the first, but I did not watch the Queen Latifah 6-episode season, although it's in my Netflix queue. So I will get around to watching it, but I did not hear good things, so I was not looking forward to it. Even though they brought back the original Ghostface mask and voice.
Yeah, when I heard VH1 was the proverbial destination, man, I was just like, really?
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
So we'll get around to it, but yeah, I'm not really looking forward to it. This could be good, it could be bad. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm not going to judge it at this point. We don't know enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I will definitely, like you, man. I will just welcome it with open arms if we do get some OGs back. So yeah.
All right. So the next story. This one is interesting, especially coming off of the Charlie's Angels box office.
# woke.
So, Charlie's Angels was directed. Was it written by Elizabeth Banks as well?
I don't know if she wrote it, but
she definitely directed it.
She definitely directed it, and it was like a passion project of hers to bring this franchise of just ass-kicking ladies back to light.
And it bombed big time. It made like $7 million in its first weekend.
Epically compared to the previous two that Mick G directed that made tons of money.
Yeah, well, they focused on sex appeal instead of female action, where you see Kristen Stewart, who's all of 100 pounds max, throwing guys around, and it just doesn't make any sense. So it was stupid, and then there was controversy afterwards because apparently she was quoted, although it might have been a bit of a misquote, but Elizabeth Banks was quoted as saying that men just didn't go see female-led action movies.
I heard she skirted back on those comments after the backlash and so on and so forth. But it was like, really, if you're going to be fair, no one went.
No one went. $7 million is not all that women can bring to the table. Yeah. Sorry, but
and the fact that the previous two with Cameron
Diaz, Lucy Liu. Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore. That's the Never Been Kissing I was trying to think of. But those movies made money, man. They were very successful, and they even brought back Murray in a cameo in this, and so they had they had kind of a transitionary aspect as far as these are just new angels and whatnot. But yeah, nobody really cared about this IP, and there was a lot in the industry that speculated, would this have been better if they just didn't even title it Charlie's Angels and they just did something else? Who the hell knows? In hindsight, we will not know. But I can't say I'm surprised with some of her comments by the announcement of this being the next thing that she is working on.
Well, it was announced so quickly after that backlash that I was surprised they didn't wait another couple of weeks. But yeah, Elizabeth Banks is apparently set to helm the Invisible Woman movie, which they're going to be doing, even though they're just going to be releasing Invisible Man early next year. Yeah. Apparently Invisible Woman's going to be 2021, and they don't even have a script yet necessarily, but they know that they're going to build the sub-universe this way. Like, they're not building an Avengers universe, but it is still all technically the same universe. So the Invisible Man that we just reacted to recently, the trailer for by Lee Wanell, which looked amazing, but it didn't feel like they were trying to connect it to anything. And now they're going to be developing another property called The Invisible Woman, which feels like it needs to be tied into it so rapidly afterwards. I feel like they're already muddying their own waters of this new setup.
I'm like kind of walking on glass here, walking on eggshells. I don't want to be Dino or anything, but
oh boy, here it comes.
And I love you, Dino, man. But I feel like this is kind of like a checks and balance, kind of like if we have an Invisible Man, we have to have an Invisible Woman. I'm sorry, everybody, but that's kind of the way that I feel. And somebody like Elizabeth Banks is in fact the one to push something like this forward. I mean, Wanell has really staked his claim in making this into kind of a horror story. And The Invisible Woman came out a few years after the original Invisible Man, and it was its own thing in that regard. But I don't know. Will the tone be a mimicry? Will it be something completely different? I don't really know. I'm open to it. I really like Elizabeth Banks. I think she's funny more so than anything else. I feel like she's like on a Kate McKinnon level, as far as like you would be like, oh, she's a blonde and she's this and she's that and she's whatever, but she is very sophisticated and very intelligent in her comedic timing and insight and stuff like that. I mean, stretching all the way back to Wet Hot American Summer, and then she's dramatic and stuff like Brightburn and whatever. I mean, she has the talent, and she is very deliberately going behind the camera more so now, which I can respect. But I'm just curious more so than anything what the tone of this film is going to be. Invisible Man looks R-rated. I mean, maybe it'll bypass that and it'll be PG-13. I think maybe in hindsight that feels more like the flavor of the day as far as like interconnecting horror stuff. But I don't know. I'm going to try to be hopeful about it, but I feel like it's a reactionary, just project in a lot of ways, if I'm going to be fair about it.
A little bit. We'll see. I mean, good story outs, so hopefully they'll surprise us with a good story.
Always.
So. Yeah. Last but not least, Fuego, and this is something near and dear to our hearts here at the channel.
You specifically, sir, although, man, talk about a crowded pond at this particular point, man. My God. There is one guy who he won't shut up about it, and we really like his work, but that's on a different level, and that's Mr. Flanagan.
Yeah, Mike Flanagan. So apparently the Craven Estate, which did regain the rights a couple of months ago to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, they announced that they are going to be actively starting to take pitches from people for a new Nightmare on Elm Street TV series and a new movie.
Yeah, so they're trying to franchise the hell out of this stuff, which actually is tremendous for this guy and his idea.
Ideally it would be, but now we've already gotten a couple of celebrities dipping their toes in the pond, throwing their hats in the ring. Elijah Wood and his company,
Spectrovision.
Yep, yeah. Spectrovision already announced previous to this announcement that they want to give a crack at doing a Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Yeah, weeks ago.
And then Mike Flanagan, who is hot off of Dr. Sleep and working with regularity with Stephen King, he said that he's got a pitch, and he even sent a tweet out saying, "Put me in, coach." So he really wants to do it.
Everybody retweeted that.
Everyone retweeted that.
I'm just very curious if his idea is kind of like yours.
I'm curious too. I'm very curious too.
Because that would make the most sense.
I don't think so. I would assume that many people are continuing the regular continuity. Maybe bringing back Jacob instead of bringing back Miko, Jacob the Dream Child.
Yeah.
But maybe not. I don't know. I can't speak to it. Jacob and Alice, exactly. Yeah.
Which they did in the comics.
They did everything in the comics.
If you guys have any inclination to further research the Nightmare on Elm Street mythology and continuity, we have done all of the reviews.
Indeed, seriously. We reviewed every single movie. We just finished our review of the first 4 Freddy's Nightmares episodes that starred Freddy himself. And then there's going to be 4 episodes in season 2 that we're going to cover. Plus, we are going to have done 8 total episodes of Freddy Krueger comic book reviews. And that's every Freddy Krueger comic book that's ever come out. Ever. So we are going to have reviews of all of the Freddy story that you can possibly get your hands on. And it's going to be a very complete thing when all is said and done.
Yeah,
but
and you still want to rank the movies.
I do want to rank the movies.
I know you want to rank the kills yourself.
I'm going to do the kills because it's going to be a 150 strong list at least. So it's going to take forever to produce. So that's probably not going to happen before the end of the campaign, which, by the way, if you didn't know, we're currently running a crowdfunding campaign for a film called Dylan's New Nightmare. It is an unofficial sequel to Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and it's going to be starring Miko Hughes himself, reprising the role of Dylan Porter. Not only that, but Dave McCrae is going to be playing our Freddy Krueger, and Nora Hewitt, who won season 9, I think it was season 9, right? I believe so, of Face Off.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic makeup artist. She already did the head cast of Dave McCrae. That stream is on the channel.
And I love the fact that you guys were both on the same page about like a Freddy look.
Yeah, we had a look in our minds as to what we want our Freddy to look like. Luckily, we both separately had the same idea, so it's going to work great.
Super dope.
And the campaign is live for about another 2 weeks. Lots of good perks available. If you want to support it, you can get your name in the credits. You can even get some digital download perks like a special commentary of Wes Craven's New Nightmare featuring Miko Hughes that you won't be able to get anywhere else because we can't put it live on our channel. Yeah. So only the backers at that $10 perk level can get it. But guys, if you want to see a really cool Freddy Krueger movie, that is how you can do it, and we'll be in control of it. And Vince DeSanti of Never Hike Alone is going to be actually producing it as well. So the nice thing about these pitches that they're taking is I can't confirm or deny anything, but there's a chance that we might be able to get in the door to pitch our idea. So I'm not going to say whether or not that's for sure or when that might be happening, if it is happening, or if there's a specific date if that's happening. I certainly won't tell you that.
Yeah, I saw Burton there is like, downloading by the song, Wicked One.
Zachary Haith, you're making a fan film? You can't honestly just be hearing about that for the first time, Zachary. Good Lord. We've been talking about it for a month and a half. But yes, it's really exciting. Aaron Keller says, I think it's Demon Freddy from Freddy vs. Jason. That is a very interesting idea. There's ideas. There's ideas floating around, Aaron. I will say that. So when you talk about the Invisible Man, I always think of Darkman from the 1990s. That or Memoirs of an Invisible Man. That's what I think of.
Yeah, which
Chevy
was,
Chase.
John
Carpenter's Chevy Chase Invisible Man movie.
And Darkman, I mean, Sam Raimi, and come on, Liam Neeson. Dude, so good. So good.
When you pull it off and knock it out of the park, please consider doing a follow-up part 2 with Mark Patton back. We have ideas for the follow-ups. Yeah. There are multiple parts already planned, so don't you guys worry about that. We have some exciting ideas.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I am overall excited that the Craven Estate is taking pitches because that means they're serious about letting the right people bring it back. The people that have the best stories, not the people that have the most money.
Truly. And, I mean, yes, a Flanagan pitch. I mean, as a fanboy of his, and I listened to his 2.5-hour Boo Crew thing with Bloody Disgusting the other day, which is him and his wife, who was in Hill House and Hush and various different things. Like, she is a babe, and she is very like both of them, so articulate and so just in the interview process over 2.5 hours, so kind and humble. And those are the type of creatives that I want to support and stuff. But I'm on this guy's team, so I can't say that there's anything more that I would like to see than Dylan's New Nightmare. So there you go.
So that, if you guys want to see Dylan's New Nightmare, if you want to contribute to the campaign or at least share the campaign, the link to that is in the description box down below. Also, the link to Manscaped, if you want to get yourself some of that trimmer and get yourself all taken care of, the link to that is in the description box as well. Thank you guys very much for watching. Do you have any last-minute questions before we sign off here?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of cruised through these 9 stories, and
we kind of did.
Yes, as per should. I'm out of.
There we go.
Out of the spirit of stuff, but I can easily replenish.
So go ahead. Go refill yourself while I check. Will the comics you read have any influence on Dylan's New Nightmare? No. Believe it or not, the comics I've been reading have given me a completely different Freddy fan film idea set outside of the New Nightmare continuity. It would be set more in the original continuity. So there's actually an idea that's really cool that I wouldn't mind doing after the Dylan's New Nightmare series eventually. So let's see. Jesse T, I think it's time for new Nightmare of Elm Street content. We've been waiting. I also think we're hungry for it. How are you guys? Sarah Counts asks, how are you guys? We're good. We're good. Aaron Keller asks, love Hill House and Dr. Sleep. He would do Freddy justice. Yeah, I imagine he would, but it would be a lot slower than a lot of the Freddy movies. Gamer O'Night says, peace, guys. Have a good night. Great week. Have a good night and great week. Thank you, Gamer O'Night. You do the same. What's your favorite Christmas horror movies? One of mine has got to be Krampus. I got to say, I love Krampus. I have the score in vinyl, which I just got. It's awesome. I love the Krampus movie. I thought it was okay the first time when we watched it and did our immediate review, but the second time I watched it for my Krampus Reconsidered, which isn't available on the channel because it gets blocked every time I put it up.
Which is a bummer because you put so much effort into that.
I did, and it's a really fun review, but I love that movie. I love Krampus. It might be my favorite Christmas horror movie to watch.
Dude, I don't know a Christmas horror movie, honestly. I mean, for the most
Christmas Horror Story you liked? The Krampus versus Santa Claus one, the anthology?
Yeah, that one was decent enough. I mean,
with the changeling in the woods is one of the stories and
that
stuff.
That was fun. And you had William Shatner as the guy who was doing like the voiceover, like radio hosting the entire time.
Gremlins, another great Christmas horror movie.
I especially did. Yeah, Gremlins might be my go-to, but I especially liked in A Christmas Horror Story the fact that the guy was nuts, the old bum, and he was like fighting. He thought he was fighting off elves, and then he was like fighting off all these different workers and stuff. So, that was. Yeah, that was amusing, but I mean, around Christmas time, it's more like Die Hard and, you know, things of Home Alone, things of that nature. Yeah, Home Alone 2 specifically, man. So
Movie Geek asks, any Black Friday movie purchases? Yes, a ton of them. I'm still waiting for some to come in the mail, so I'm going to do a complete Black Friday haul once I have them, but I think I have just as many vinyls as I got movies this year. It's pretty nuts. Plus, I may or may not have gotten a gun, so it's going to be an interesting horror haul. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I didn't buy anything horror, unfortunately. I was more so going for like Blu-ray Into the Spider-Verse and.
How dare you, Zachary? Did not pull a Lee. I did that before I even knew who Lee was.
Teen Titans Go to the Movies. I purchased that because I thought that was hilariously meta. Green Book.
And actually, they put out Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go.
I saw that.
I bought that for Black Friday.
I haven't watched it yet
either. But because remember, the post credits of Teen Titans Go to the Movies was the other crossover. So that's what it led into.
Yeah, I haven't watched either series. So it's not like I can offer like implicit insight of any kind. But oh well.
So it's, I don't know, everything's pretty exciting right now, you guys. We still have a couple of weeks left for the campaign. Looks like we're going to be able to do the whole thing at the very least. We'll see. I mean, hopefully we still have about 25% of the way to go, but we have 2 weeks to do it, so I think we can. It's exciting. The news was cool this month, a lot of good news, and we'll see what happens.
Everybody needs to see Knives Out.
You keep saying that. I went and saw Frozen 2 instead. But does it really need to be in the theater? You don't need to see Knives Out in the theater.
Knives Out was so good.
But you don't need to see it in the theater. It's not like it needs to be on the big screen.
It's not like a big budget craziness. It's on the small time, but dude, it's so good. If you have the A-list and you aren't using one of yours this week,
I have so much other stuff to do, like all the Patreon movies that I got to catch up on.
This is the guy. But yes, I adore that film. It's so fun. So,
Aaron Keller asks, you guys ever see Madman Mars from the 80s? No, I have not. I haven't even heard about it. Dylan Fouch, we're actually wrapping up right now. J. Thomas 87, the darkest movie this season is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. The darkest movie is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood? I haven't seen it, so I don't know how that would be considered dark. But...
Well, I've seen it, and I reviewed it, and then I went back and I rewatched the, Won't You Be My Neighbor documentary, which is far superior in my estimation.
Sarah Count says, Cecil is a Disney princess fan, confirmed. Well, I will say that I may or may not have bought Ralph Wrecks the Internet just because all the Disney princesses are in it, not because it was a good movie.
I actually liked Ralph Wrecks the Internet better than the first one.
You are insane, because it was way worse.
Really?
It was way worse.
No, all of the commentary, especially with us,
it was so much worse.
Being in the space, as they call it.
I thought it was so bad compared to the first one. Damn.
Oh, it's fun.
I did pick Frozen 2 over Knives Out because I'm a big... What I watch are horror movies and kids movies, so of course I had to see... Well, Frozen was great to see on the big screen, though. The animation was gorgeous.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A CGI film, that does make sense if you were going to go one way or the other. Yeah, that does.
Yeah.
I just haven't watched the first Frozen, and I even had some people messaging me, and they were like...
Get out. Just go. You're out. You're fired. Go. You're not allowed to finish this episode now.
That movie was last year. Get out. Sorry.
Oh, Get Out. You still haven't seen Get Out either? No, I thought you were talking about Frozen.
You're kidding me. You know we've seen Get Out. We reviewed it together.
Yeah, okay. I was like, what are you talking about? All right. So anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it. If you enjoyed this episode, click the like button and subscribe to make sure you don't miss our episodes going forward. You can also click the bell to make sure, for sure, that you don't miss our episodes going forward. If you want, become a patron. The link to that is in the description box.
We appreciate it.
And you can actually request some movies for us to review if you want to do that. The link to the Dylan's New Nightmare campaign is also down there, along with the Manscaped link. So thank you guys very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
And gracias a Jaime and Fuego.
And remember, stay scared. Thank you very much.
You all appreciate it.
Bye.